Man, I love the 80s. As someone whose formative years took place during this decade, I unapologetically tell you I'm just drawn to it. The movies, the music, the cultural dynamics. So I'll admit to being a sucker for anything that takes place during this time period. But this does have its limits. So when I heard they were making a movie about Michael Jordan, Nike, and the development of the Air Jordan sneaker, well, I admit to being a bit surprised. I mean, it's a sneaker. And yes, I understand it's probably the most popular sneaker ever made. And this might be the most recognized marketing logo in the history of marketing. But did I really want to see a movie about a sneaker? Honestly, I was on the fence. But I read some decent things, and then I saw the cast list, and I figured, well, why not give it a shot? So come on in, take off your members-only jacket, go to the fridge and grab a Bartles and James wine cooler, sit back, and let's talk about the movie Air. So it's 1984, and the Oregon-based Nike company is on the verge of bankruptcy due to low footwear sales. In response to this, marketing VP Rob Stasser, played by Jason Bateman, along with co-founder and CEO Philip Knight, played by Ben Affleck, tasked Nike's basketball talent scout Sonny Vaccaro to come up with a new pitch for a shoe line based on current NBA athletes. Sonny is played by Matt Damon. And while considering the basketball players chosen in the 1984 NBA draft, Nike's executives think third pick Michael Jordan is off limits, being both a fan of Adidas and too expensive for the basketball division's meager budget. But once Vaccaro watches Jordan's highlights in conjunction with an Arthur Ashe commercial for his head rackets, he becomes convinced Nike should pursue who he considers a generational talent with both brand and athlete building off each other. After going to Los Angeles to meet his friend George Raveling, played by Marlon Wayans, who coached Jordan in the Olympic tournament, and asking for his support in courting the star, Vaccaro travels to the Jordan household in Wilmington, North Carolina, to meet with Michael's parents in an attempt to have him change his mind and sign with Nike. Rounding out the rest of the main cast include Chris Messina, who plays David Falk, Michael's agent, Chris Tucker, who plays Howard White, a Nike executive, and Viola Davis, who plays Dolores Jordan, Michael's mother. And boy, you will not forget you are watching a film based in 1984, as this movie features no less than 34 songs from the 80s, such as Money for Nothing, Sister Christian, I Can Dream About You, and I Can't Fight This Feeling. Directed by Ben Affleck, who won an Academy Award for the movie Argo, and also for the screenplay for Good Will Hunting, this film clocks in at a little under 2 hours. Now, this is the 9th movie that Damon and Affleck have made together. It's a pretty impressive list that includes Good Will Hunting, The Last Duel, and Dogma. So what about this movie? I mean, look, it's kind of hard to root for Nike as a protagonist. I mean, let's face it, the company hasn't exactly covered itself in glory through the years. Sweatshops in China, child labor allegations, using offshore companies to avoid taxes, plus other controversial acts, such as signing athlete Colin Kaepernick, then capitulating to his wishes to ditch a Betsy Ross shoe because he found the flag offensive, siding with China in its suppression of Hong Kong, more forced labor allegations in China, and, well, their most recent marketing campaign. It's really hard to cheer for a multi-billion-dollar company with such a, well, questionable track record. Hell, even the shoe itself has some controversy surrounding it, with its outlandish prices, which have actually led to crime and even murder to obtain them. But let's put this aside and focus on the film. Is it in fact good or is it not good? And the answer to this is, well, yes to both. Look, we have a story about a multi-million-dollar company and a multi-million-dollar athlete collaborating to create a shoe. Yes, it's the most iconic sneaker of all time, and it's probably the most successful collaboration between a company and an athlete, and it set the bar and standards for collaborations between other companies and other athletes. But is this really a story that anyone is interested in? Because the plot itself isn't particularly fascinating. You won't really learn much that you couldn't have learned by doing a quick Google search. What, however, absolutely saves this movie is the acting. I mean, look at that cast. You expect good things, but damn, no one lets you down. Davis is brilliant as Michael's mom. Affleck, Bateman, Wayans, Messina, and Tucker excel in their roles. But honestly, the MVP of this movie is Matt Damon. His portrayal of Sonny Vaccaro is absolutely amazing to watch, and it would not surprise me if he received his second Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, following the one he received in 1998 for Good Will Hunting. Now, without spoiling the movie, the boardroom scene where the Nike executives meet with Michael and his family, which features practically your entire main cast, and the speech that Damon's character gives is the best scene in the film, and it's really worth a watch itself, even if you don't want to see the movie. So let's do a little math here. Not my strong point, but give it a go. We'll give the film 4.5 out of 10 for its plot, and 9 out of 10 for its acting, which leaves us, well, let's say 6.5 out of 10 overall for this movie, at least according to normie math. No need to run out to your theaters, but it's definitely watchable when it hits the streaming services, even if only for the acting. And as I say weekly, if you like what you heard, click the like button, subscribe, or leave a comment or a suggestion. And if you did not like what you heard, well, I thank you for your time anyway, and I'll see you next week. Take care.